Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to our Calmsden Farm playthrough. Small dairy, where we started badly, and now we're actually getting ahead. Field 6, 3, and 20 have all been stone picked. I did go ahead and buy an upgraded stone picker because I wasn't dealing with it anymore. This is the only unrealistic thing we have on this farm. It's 9.5 meter width and it holds like 12,000 liters. This is the POW that we pulled out. There's a lot. Again, I don't know why the game hates me. Anyhoozle, got the Fendt on the spreader with the lime, but that's not what we're doing right now. The Merlot makes that thing loading it way, way easier. It is now the first day of October, so we get to do a little bit of harvesting. And by a little, I mean 2 fields. So we're going to be juggling jobs again today. It seems to be our lot in life anymore, is to juggle all of the jobs. So we have to farm or harvest a free field and harvest field 16 as a contract, and we're going to get a header for that. That is for sunflowers, and I think it would be kind of neat to rent us a little sunflower trailer or a sunflower header and use that today. Cows are already taken care of. They're good to go for today. Yeah, so I'm going to fuel in this thing and we'll head over to Freefield. So we've already got the 9620 down here along with the Hilux. Hilux, of course, is on the header trailer. And I did place it around the right of way, so I really want to do this one myself without having to hire Clarkson, is what I'm hoping for. It seems that we hire workers all the time for everything, and sometimes it's just nice to do it ourselves. I have a lot of fun on the survival series doing all of the jobs ourselves. You know, you don't really get to do a whole awful lot whenever you're playing series like this. You just kind of got to go with it and let the game do whatever it wants to do. And sometimes that's okay, and sometimes it kind of sucks. But this shouldn't be more than a couple of swipes, I don't believe. So it should be fairly easy to get this done and loaded up. And we'll drop the header off at the storage area across the street from the main farm. And I'll go pick up that sunflower header. So we'll get everything kind of changed around here. So what are we missing here? Expected yield was 63%. Oh, that's right. The thing had glitched out and we didn't get the reading on the field. It was like really bugged. So we're probably not going to make too awful much off of this, but you know, soybeans sell pretty good, so even at 18,000 liters, I think 36 grand would be a-okay for us. We are fairly close to paying off a couple of items too, so that will be a help going into things. I did check the price of field 20 and it's like $300,000. I thought it was like 30 grand, but apparently I'm wrong. So that's going to be a big nope for buying that at the end of this season. We may go ahead and lease another field off of whatever extra we get after buying this guy. That way it's ours, because you know, having something that's ours that we're not paying $5 grand a month for is going to be a big help to us. So today is going to be a very, very busy day. As we run up here to 16, I'm already thinking about what to do in field 6 and 3. So those need lime and need to be planted today with OSR. Today is the last day that we can plant OSR for it to be ready by spring. So need to get that done, like ASAP, and I hope that the crop doesn't fail. I mean, everything else is right. By the calendar, it's right. So we're going to unload. We're going to unload this guy, and it gets. Wow, I have 500 horsepower. Come on, don't slow down. Let's go. But yeah, we need to get on that, because if we don't, we're not going to have a fun time with this at all. It's not going to be very fun. I can tell you that. Well, it doesn't look like I'm going to have to chase Clarkson as much today. We've almost done one lap, and he's at 60%. So you kind of keep an eye on it, and I think that will be more than okay today. So I shouldn't have to do too much chasing. Okay, so I think we'll start with this side and get it done. That way we can go ahead and put the Massey over here with the weeder that can also plant. So I'm really, really hoping that the lime that I have is 3 trailer loads full. So that needs to do field 6, field 3, free field, field 21, and our grass field. All of these need to be done. And I really don't want to go buy more today, so we're going to do the most important ones today. Field 20 can wait. It's not getting planted until the spring. Both of field 20 and field 6. Yeah, field 6 will be planted at the exact same time with the exact same crop. And planter and everything else. Just to kind of see where we end up for usage. Again, field 20 and field 6 are our little experiment, so it should be pretty interesting to see what the difference between manure and OSR is. It's basically what it comes down to. You know, is it worth selling the manure to the digester, or is it worth putting down? So we'll see how much supplemental application of fertilizer we'll have to do. I guess that's the big thing. How much supplement do we need to do? Okay, so that took some time. I don't know if it was more or less than what I thought it was going to take, honestly. We didn't use as much, but I didn't want to put another course together, so I kind of got lazy and had to refill. So that part's done. We can get the Massey hooked up to the weeder now. Get that thing going, and then we're almost done in field 16. Okay, like most things in this game, this is something I have never used, so it does work pretty good. It's pretty wide, so that's always good. Wide is good, and unless you're trying to, you know, play like a Polish farm or something. So what are we doing? So for the past little bit, we've been talking about we're going to put OSR in field 6, but not field 20. The reason for this is OSR captures nitrogen. Okay, so it's not going to use up nitrogen, it's going to capture it. There are also other benefits that the game doesn't go into. Radishes or turnips or any kind of crop like that will actually go into the ground and soften it up. It's almost like plowing. Okay, you're not turning over the grass, but you're adding material to it. Plus, as the crop grows, the root of the crop goes straight down, or it goes down as straight as it can. This can break through hard pans. Hard pan is what happens after you've traveled a field 100 times with heavy equipment. Even when you've got, you know, tracks on and stuff like that, you're still gonna at some point develop a layer underneath the uncultivated soil that is hard, that roots of crops like corn cannot penetrate. So that's when you have corn that falls over, or corn that won't grow as much because it cannot, you know, sustain itself. It can't hold itself up. So what OSR in the game does is basically adds a fertilization layer, or it did, outside of, you know, new seasons and stuff like that. So this is the first time, you know, that I've used it in a seasonal setup with precision farming. We've used it on the calmlands, but I haven't harvested yet, and I haven't really paid much attention to it. So this is actually our good, you know, kind of trial run. So, okay, kind of forgot what I was talking about. Radishes. So in the game, the way it works is it just applies another level. That's it. That's all it does. In real life, what you would do, to the best of my knowledge and what I've seen done, is you would apply a nitrogen fertilizer of any type. So, you know, anhydrous or manure, slurry, or anything like that. And what the OSR would do is capture that nitrogen, because we're not pulling the nitrogen back out of the field. The OSR is a waste crop, right? So we plant this seed. The plant grows. Its bulb or its fruit, let's say, captures that nitrogen as the plant grows, instead of that nitrogen being evaporated into the air or lost to the water stream or yada yada yada, however else the nitrogen's going to go. So we capture that in, and we store it. And then whenever we go and we re-till the field or we do our direct drill, the plant is dying and or dead at this point, and it's rotting or decaying inside of the ground. And then that nitrogen is slowly released back into the plants that are surrounding it, because it's being absorbed back into nature. So that's the idea of OSR. So the way the game works, which to me is a little wonk, is we don't do that. We miss that step. We're not adding anything to it. We're just putting it in the ground and going, yeah, and it's fine. It does its thing. It does whatever it wants to do. So I think that that's kind of a missed opportunity. I would be fine with it if it let us skip a plowed state, because even without the nitrogen additive, the plant still grows. So, yes, you would have to supplement the nitrogen that the plant is already uptaking, which is still going to be in the field. It's not going anywhere. If anything, you're going to save a little bit more anyway. Plus, you're going to get that biomass built back up into the soil. Plus, you get the benefit of when the plant does decay, you've got these holes in the ground. You can absorb more water. It can also help with drainage. I know that those are two separate things, but as you go through layers of soil, you need water to go through the soil. Drain tiles is actually starting to be a very, very big problem in the farming world, because you're letting all of the moisture come out of the field. So, yeah, if you were trying to plant in an area where you probably weren't getting the yield that you should have, it can be a help, but it's also very, very bad at the same time. So anytime you come into a drought condition, that naturally held water in the ground is gone, because you've drained it off into the river. Through that drainage, you're losing nutrients. So you gain acres usable, but you lose a lot of stuff on top. So doing OSR and those types of things could help. Anytime that you can start to restructure the soil to make it back to what it used to be, it will actually retain water better in a more useful state, instead of being just kind of wasted, or not even wasted, but not used properly. Like, you can have root rot and stuff like that because the moisture level is too high, because at that point in the soil, it's not getting drained through, it's not going through substrates and all that fun stuff. So that's what OSR is supposed to help with. I wish that the game would kind of go into that, because this game is help. It helps young people and people like me that were not interested in farming become interested in it. It's a very weird kind of game. And if you just go, well, it just does this thing. Well, what's the reasoning behind the thing? A short blurb inside of tips and tricks doesn't really help. You wanna learn more. And I think that's what the precision farming DLC needs to be, is it needs to be more educational. You're doing this precision farming thing. You're apparently okay with the extra work that's needed to be done. You should probably be okay with a little bit of reading too. So if we reflected those mechanics into the game, I think it would be better for the game as a whole. I think that they're pretty interesting mechanics. In real life, they are. Getting away from doing all this constant soil turning and everything like that needs to stop. You can take a satellite image of anywhere in the world where you have a delta, which is a river outlet going into a larger body of water, and the amount of silt and everything in that delta now is the topsoil from all our farmland. And we get massive floodings because of some farming practices too, but the flooding is more in line with subdivision buildup and non-permeable lands at that point. So, asphalt everywhere. Walmart parking lots is basically what that comes down to. So, there's a lot of people that do not agree with these practices because, damn it, that's the way that Dad did it, and that's the way I'm going to do it, and you're fancy college types, you don't know whatever, I got to make my money, whatever. Kind of need to detach farming from massive profit motives at that point. It's become too centralized to where profit is overriding the care for the land, and that's going to come back and bite us. It just, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's going to come back and bite us. And I don't blame the farmers. I blame how the market structure is. You can't just go around and race to the bottom, as it were. You've got to, start looking at do I need 14,000 acres to really survive, or can I get by on a section? You know, can that sustain me if I start selling my product directly instead of going through the grain elevator or whatever? You know, do I offer something more than what Billy Bob Ray down the road has as well? And that's probably not a conversation a lot of people aren't ready to have, because they like their $900,000 combine, they like their $500,000 tractor, they like doing all of the big things with the big sheds and everything. And yeah, it's great. You can make a lot of money with that, but you're seeing this consolidation of small family farms, and we're losing the ability as people to know how to grow our own food, or what good food even is. You know, it's been brought up 100,000 times. I will not eat pork out of the store now. I just won't. It's disgusting. I'm sorry, but no, I don't buy it. I've been around the processing plants, the whole growth stages of the pig, all of them. I've seen how they're raised. I see how they're fed. I've tasted, you know, not bad pork, and I'll never ever go back again. I haven't had any pork in, well, actually since I left Puck. So Matt used to bring his in all the time, and man, that's some good eating. But that, again, that's a story for another day. So this is why I try to explain things out. I know that my videos are not like wham bam 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 bam, you know, they're not great cinematic masterpieces or anything like that, but I do try to talk about things that go on in the farming world that should be talked about. You know, I mean, these are important things that I have learned that I try to pass on to people all the time. You know, random conversations with people. We were playing WoW yesterday. We were doing an RP event, which is a role-playing event. And I was just in Discord goofing around, and somebody brought up farming, and then, hey, here's these things, and, you know, this is what I know, and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, it come around to the hog thing, and, you know, it's good to have these conversations with people. You know, even the conversations people don't want to have, it's good to get that information out there. There's, you know, because once you knock on that door a little bit, there's a ton of information. You know, once a week, during the whole COVID thing, you know, we're trying to do work and everything, but whenever you lock up your outside sales guy, with, you know, Matt is my general manager, I was the outside sales guy, when you're basically stuck, you know, can't go nowhere, you know, you're both kind of used to doing different things, and you just go, okay, well, we're going to take this opportunity. Matt took the time once a week to teach me something about regenerative farming every week, and we would listen to, you know, farm shows and everything like that, farming programs on the radio, and, you know, go through the whole thing, because it was information that was pertinent to what we were trying to do as a business, but also in, you know, helping me understand, you know, why we're going to see this shift into these different things, and why you're starting to see more and more aftermarket equipment come out for old tractors. Matt had a Massey 175 or 185, I'm sorry. It had a GPS on it. This tractor's from the 70s. Retrofitted. He did it last year. The thing drives and operates like a brand new tractor. It's just not as comfortable. You're starting to see that more and more and more and more, as, you know, family farmers are trying to do more with less, instead of being able to get, you know, that market share that they require to keep going. It's a thing. You know, these are for real conversations that the largest farmers in the country are having. You know, when you look at the Amity beet cart, I had already seen one that had been converted into a silage trailer. Why? because it could be better for the ground. That was the main reason, is we want to keep tires off the ground. This thing can carry the capacity plus spread the ground load better than any grain cart or silage cart that they'd seen, and the offloading mechanism worked well with the rest of their track vehicles. These are conversations that multi-million-dollar farms are having. They're not, most of these guys are not plowing. They're doing their intake of manure, and they'll chisel it and then immediately plant it. There's no multiple plowing on these thousands and thousands of acres anymore, unless it absolutely has to be done because of other reasons. This isn't try to surround yourself with people that think differently than you, because when I started playing this game, and I got my job because of playing this game. I did not have any interest in farming at all before this. I thought, well, you just gotta plow everything. That's what the game says. But it turns out that's really not it. That ain't it, Chief. What have I done here? So yeah, that's basically what your OSR is for. I didn't mean to go on like a long, rant. And people think that, I hate on commercial farming. I don't. I think it's a needed thing, but it needs to be done differently. But I see comments all the time that, don't bring that. What was the one I read the other day? I had to delete it. Don't bring that World Economic Forum bullshit in here. I'm like, what? Like, we're just talking about farming. I don't care about the economics of it. I'm talking about, things that are good for the farmer and our country as a whole, and actually the world, because things are kind of weird. Anytime we have over farming, you end up with deserts. I mean, look at Afghanistan. They basically don't have trees because they were over timbered to build warships and everything like that. And there's been massive movements to try to get their tree population to start taking back off, to de-desertify parts of Afghanistan. I know we're gonna go, oh, shit, old country, yada yada yada. I don't care. I'm not talking about country politics. I'm talking about what has happened in the past and what's going on now. I don't care about who says what and whatever. Just don't bring that stuff into here. We're not talking about that. Okay? Do not. I will report you so fast. So hopefully, between all that said, I hope that you guys have learned something today. The game can be an awesome tool to teach. I think it needs that little push in the right direction, and it's going to be something that, can help foster some more interest in things. You start to see this more and more with trades. People want to learn. They're tired of doing these hands-off kind of jobs. They want to be more hands-on, but they also have knowledge in different kind of areas too. I would never tell a programmer that he couldn't come and help me farm. He might bring something to the table that I have no idea about, and I've seen that happen. You bring in a group of people that actually want to do something, not because it's in their best financial interest, but because they enjoy it, and you'll have more conversations about what can actually be changed, because you get that outside perspective on things. So looks like we've crossed our second hour with the harvester, but that doesn't make sense. I've only been recording for an hour 50. Ugh, that thing's gonna cost me a ton of money. Hopefully we make back something, but this is probably where I'm going to leave it. I'm going to finish up the harvest in that one field. I know that we're negative money again. We're going to go positive again. It's going to be fine. But I've ran into issue long enough, and I need to get this field done and the other one done. So I'm going to leave it here. Thank you guys very much for watching. hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please leave it a like. If you didn't, let me know why in the comments below, but don't be horrible a person. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.